Hi everybody, welcome to the Celebrate Everyday mini album class. I want to take a moment to say thank you guys so much for being here, being a part of this. I am so very grateful that this is what I get to do and it is my job, and I'm so thankful that you're here and you get to be a part of it. It is a huge desire of mine to interact with you guys and help you document your everyday moments. That's what I love doing. So thank you so much for being here, for purchasing product from Stampin' Up through me, or for paying for this class. I really appreciate you guys, and I'm so thankful that you're here. So let's dive into some information for this class. I want to say I'm sorry if this video is a little bit awkward. I'm not great on camera, you guys. You guys usually see this part of me and not this part of me. So we're going to do our best to get through this, but I really wanted to do a video with you guys to welcome you to the class and then share some information with you. And so I'm doing it this way this time. So let's dive in. We are doing the mini album. I have it right here. I have some notes. I'm going to be looking down a little bit. But this is the album we're going to be putting together. I'm going to have a video walking through the foundation pages that I've done, along with all the product that we're using. I'm not going to try to do that here because it's a little bit awkward. I'm holding things up. They're backwards. It's not going to work. But I wanted to tell you guys that I will be doing that. Class has officially started. So there are several of you that are taking photos this week, and then that's what you're going to use to put in your album. There are also several of you that are just taking photos that you have from a trip or other, moments, everyday moments, and you're using those to put into the album. I will for sure be sharing tips and tricks and information on doing both kinds of albums. So for me, I am doing the week in the life sort of album. So I took all of my photos last week, and the reason I did that is so that I can engage more with you guys and help you more through the process of this week. I found that last time when I did this class, I was taking photos with you guys, and it just didn't work. Like, I had a hard time not engaging, but I had a hard time doing both. So what I wanted to do this time is go ahead and take the photos, and then I had specific themes and specific things that I did that I focused on that I'm going to be teaching in the album, and I did those. And so I will be sharing them the same way, like during the same day. Like, for instance, on Wednesday, I did an AM PM theme in the album. That's how I took my photos. I'll be sharing that on Wednesday with you guys. So the other thing that I want to address really quickly is that Ali Edwards, if you're not familiar with her, she's amazing. I love her. She does the project Week in the Life. So it is trademarked by her. It's her, thing. It's her product. She does physical product for it. But that's one reason this isn't called a Week in the Life project, because that's Ali Edwards' property, basically. And she is the one that came up with the concept of doing that and does it as a huge part of her business. I love Ali Edwards. I take her classes. I buy some of her product. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. And I am not doing this class in any shape or form and trying to copy what she does. Why I am choosing to do this kind of class with product from Stampin' Up are for very specific reasons. And she did her Week in the Life last week, and that's when I took pictures. I do follow her blog, and I followed her photos of her posting each day, and she did a recap, and I will put her website in the group. I really encourage you guys to follow her. She's an amazing, she documents everyday moments really in the same way that I think of them, so it's really easy for me to follow her. So the reason that I chose to do this, and I choose to offer online classes in this form, doing something at like Week in the Life, is because for me, the way that I work is I'm kind of in the middle, right? So I don't like things super, super simple. Like I don't like just using the app and putting my photos in or just dropping photos in pockets and not doing anything else. Like that's like how like you can get really, really simple with this, you know, method of documenting. That doesn't resonate with me because I want to play more. I want to use product and enjoy them and do something physical. Like I really like that in the way of documenting. And I'm not so extreme that I enjoy doing traditional layouts anymore. Like I just don't. I used to. That's how I got started in this industry. Was I did traditional layouts. So I spent hours and hours doing layouts, and I loved it, and I love looking back on them. And there are moments that I miss it, but with my life as busy as it is, I can't do that anymore. So I'm not on that extreme either of it being every single thing that I do, and I just spend hours doing it. I don't want to spend hours doing it. So what I have found is Stampin' Up, and I found Stampin' Up. And all of a sudden I had not this moment, but what happened to me when I found Stampin' Up is I started getting rid of all of my other products. And this happened before I started selling it, before I became a demonstrator, and this was my business. I started getting rid of all of my other stuff because Stampin' Up coordinates. Like I have inks that match cardstock, that match ribbon, that match embellishments. So all of a sudden, I became more productive because I had less stuff to figure out. I just knew everything matched. So what I do like about Ellie Edwards, she does offer product. She offered an album and Project Life cards and embellishments for Week in the Life. What I have found in getting her product is that I need something more, and I need it to match the stuff I already have. So by getting a Project Life either card kit from Stampin' Up or a core kit from Becky Higgins and using that in the projects that I'm doing, I find that I have more options. I have things that coordinate already, and I use more embellishments and products. And so it becomes easier for me. So the reason that I'm offering this is for that exact reason. If you are somebody who likes more product, you like to have things that coordinate and that go together, then this is going to work for you. So I just want to, say right up front, it's not about trying to copy what she's doing or stealing her ideas or what it is that she's doing. I just have found, and I feel like if it works for me, it's got to work for other people out there as well, that I need a little bit more product. And so with this album and with getting the this card kit, you're gonna see that it has more. I can embellish more, I can add more than if I just have a few cards. So it's the same thing that I do with her one little word project. I do that, and instead of getting her core products, like I get some of her embellishments to use, but I get a core kit from Becky Higgins to put my album together because I need more product. So I wanted to address that, and hopefully you guys understand that. If you're not following Ellie Edwards, please follow her. She's amazing. She's helped me in my desire to document more everyday moments and in what I'm doing, so I would love for you guys to follow her. So on the Facebook message board, the way this is going to work is there is a Facebook group that you guys are all a part of, and I will be posting videos and information there. All the files that we use will be there. It is the go-to place for sharing information and getting information, asking questions, interacting with each other. That's why I do the group, so that we can interact with each other in a real-time situation. So instead of waiting for an email or, going to my website, it's like we can all gather there and share, and I can answer questions really quickly. So please feel free to use that group, to comment in it, to share your photos, share your process, all of that. Please feel free to do that. And then the other thing that will happen is I have a web page that will be password protected. You'll need a password to log onto it. And all of the information that we're doing will be in chronological order. So it will start with this video. It'll be the introduction. The next video I'm going to do is a product walkthrough, so that will be there. Then the next video will be the foundation pages that I have set up and the way my album looks as I'm going into this. And then this way, if you get behind on some of the videos that are being posted in the group, you can go to the web page and you can see like, oh, I'm on this video. Like I need to watch this one next. And hopefully that organizes the information in a way that we can all access it when we need to. In the Facebook group, when I post new process videos or new videos, I will pin them to the top. So I will say class content, and then it'll say whatever the video is, introduction to class, and then it'll be the video and any information that needs to go with that video. And I will pin that to the top of the group. If you are on a mobile device, a phone, an iPad, a Kindle, you have to click to see the pinned post. Like it'll say see pinned posts. You'll have to click that. If you're just on a computer, it will just come right up for you and you'll see it. And then once there's new content, then I will pin the new content and the old content will go down into the news feed. So this gets a little bit crazy when I start posting process videos because there's a lot of them. And so then things start getting, you know, kicked down the line. And then if you comment on it, it will pop back up to the top. It's totally fine. We work with it. If you have questions, if you're like, where'd the introduction video go? You can ask in the group and I will pop it back to the top or I will post it. Just totally feel free to dive in there and ask. And again, if you have questions, ask them right in the group, and then I will make sure that I answer them. I will also be sending out a few emails, just that way I know that everybody's getting the information. I believe everybody is on our Facebook group, which makes it really nice for me to know everybody's there and seeing the same thing at the same time. But I will send out a couple emails just in case somebody's not seeing the information or they're not, you know, something's happening. I want everybody to be able to get the information. So a couple things I want to go over real quick here and then we'll jump off and I will have other videos up for you guys this week. So this is something that I did. This is a tip that I have. This is just an 8.5 by 11 page protector. You could use a Ziploc bag. I kept everything in this. You can see I have some receipts and some business cards and some fun things that I'm going to do with some stuff from the week. I just kept it all in this and then I kept it on my desk. So anytime that I thought I might want to say, I might not use all of this stuff, but I thought anytime that I was like, well, I kind of might want to use this, I would just pop it on my desk and then I'd throw it in this page protector. This is a document that is in our Facebook group right here. And there's a couple versions of this. There's one that does not have the days of the week in case you started, like if you didn't start on Monday, if you started yesterday on Sunday, you could write it in. I wrote the date. I started on Monday, so I wrote the date by the day of the week, and then I jotted down some notes, and to be honest, I did this at the end of the week. I didn't do it during the week. I kind of wish I would have. That's kind of a tip from me to you. Jot stuff down as you're thinking about it, even if you're just using sticky notes. I usually have sticky notes sitting here on my desk. So even if you're just using sticky notes, where the box is I did a couple things. First of all, I put on the weekly boxes, if I had a photo, if I used the Project Life app to put photos together, I used that box to make that note. So on Monday, one of the notes I have is weekly weather plus yearbook text. So that tells me that I did a screenshot of the weather for the week. I did a screenshot of a text message that I got regarding the yearbook for the kids at school that I was part of putting together. And I put those pictures together. So that way I could delete the weather picture and the text picture. And those were not in my group of photos to get printed because I had put those two pictures together. So hopefully that makes sense. I also have, so all through the boxes, that's what I did if I used the app to do that. I also kind of jotted down our schedule for each day. One of the things that I'm documenting this time around is our routine. And the last time I did a week in the life album, what I did is I took photos just from my point of view. So things that I was seeing, or, you know, different stories I wanted to tell just from my perspective. I didn't really involve anybody else as far as their voice in my album, or like maybe what was happening with them. They were in my album, clearly, but in our household, the people in my household. But I didn't necessarily ask my husband to get involved with it or take photos, or I didn't, you know, talk about much details of like him. It was more from my perspective. So this time, one of the things that I did is I wanted to include other voices in our home in this album. I wanted it to be what our week really looked like. So one thing I did was I asked my husband to take photos, and then I asked him to send them to me via text so I could just save them to my camera roll and get them on my computer. The other thing I did is I wanted to document the different routines or the things that the kids did that were part of like our overall household situation. So in that, I documented that on this sheet. I used it to jot down our routine. Each day I picked a different person in our house to document. On Thursday, I did my husband. He goes back to work on Thursdays, and so he sent me some photos from work. I also did some screenshots of things that were happening in the world, as far as like news-wise and different things like that. You guys will be seeing that. So that's what I used this document for. And then again, I just kept it all together. And then I will probably do more details on this when I sit down to do my album. The other thing that I'm getting ready to upload, I'm sorry, the coloring is a little weird because my printer is running out of ink, of course, is this. This is the welcome, you know, / guide for this class. There's a few things on here. There's a guideline for taking photos, and then there's a supply list on the very back. There's some storytelling ideas at the very bottom. I will be uploading that today. And then our overall theme for this album that I really want you guys to think about, I have a quote on this sheet right here, and I'll upload it to the group, is embrace the amazing potential magic of today's everyday moments. So what I really want to capture in this class and in this mini album is the ability to find the magic in our everyday moments, because those are the moments that make up our life, right? And something that I hear often is, there's a couple things that I hear very often. One is, I don't have kids, so what's the point of taking photos? And my life is really, really boring. I do the same stuff all of the time, so I really don't have anything to take pictures of. So the thing that I've learned about doing these in-depth projects, whether it's day in the life or week in the life, or if I'm doing a review, like if I'm doing a weekly review or a weekend review or year in review, what I have found is I've always thought like our life is pretty much the same too. Like we have a pretty boring life. Like I work at home, so I'm not even going anywhere. I don't have anything to document. Like I walk into my office from my kitchen. My husband works. My kids go to school. I do mom stuff. Like I clean and I cook. And I do stuff at the school, and like that's it. Like there's nothing exciting about grocery shopping or picking up the mail or whatever it is. Like, right, that's not exciting. But what I have found is I have done these projects, and I have, you know, really sat and thought about what I want to document, is our life actually, it's not boring. I mean, there's lots of different things that happen. All of last week, I was super busy with the school I was finishing up yearbook for the elementary school. That's not something that happens every single week. So that was a little bit different. There are things that happen that are different every single day. And every story that you have are they're there. They're already there. That's the greatest thing that you can take away from this is you're already living these stories. You're already doing them. Whatever it is, you know, the way you take your coffee, the errands you run, the work that you do, the way that you clean, the way that you view the world, the products that you use, the environment you live in, they're all stories about your life that are not boring. And so there are a lot of, you know, photos that we're taking this week that are, you know, maybe they're not, you know, something exciting like you're on a trip, you know, like you're seeing, you know, the Washington Monument today. Like maybe that's not the story you're telling, but the story that you're telling and the life you're living is still exciting and it's still worth recording. Like your life is still worth being remembered. And even if it is just you looking at your album and remembering the moments, I do this for me. This isn't for anybody else. This isn't for my husband. It's not for my kids. I mean, one day they will have it and they, you know, I hope that they enjoy it. But I do this for me so that I can look back and see the things that I've done and remember the things that I've done. And our life goes by so quickly. And there are things like you think, whatever season you're in. I know when I had little kids, I thought like little babies, I thought I'll never not change a diaper. Like this is going to be my life forever. And now I look back at that and I wish I would have done a week in the life when I had 3 babies at home. Like now my babies are in school and my life looks nothing like it did 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I wish I would have done a week in the life when it was just me and my husband and we had nothing to take photos of. I wish I would have included pictures of our first home together. Like, I mean, I have pictures of us in it, but I never took the time to take real photos of that place. And that's where our life started. So your life will likely look different now than it will in 5 years. And it most likely looks different in some ways than it did 5 years ago. So I really encourage you guys to dive in and do this project. And if you're doing a album where you just have photos and you are, you know, putting them together, first of all, any photos that you're putting together, that's still a glimpse at your life. You can still approach it like this is moments in our life. When my husband and I have photos, I have a ton of photos. I have like 200 photos from when my husband and I went to Washington, D.C. And that I could put that into a mini album and take that as a look at our, you know, a week we had in our life. Or if it's a bunch of random pictures from the last 3 months, you can do a, you know, or 6 months, or the last year, you could do a year in review or month in review or a 2000 whatever review. Whatever it is that you have, I promise you can make it look. We're going to dive in and I'm going to show you guys some techniques and some thought process when we're going through the album that I hope will help you in other projects that you're doing. My desire is always that you walk away from a class that I've done with ideas of techniques or photos that you can take or ideas on doing your next project or continuing to document your everyday moments. So I really want us to embrace that thought, and that will be my overall theme for this class. So again, thank you guys so much for taking this class. I appreciate you guys so much. I will have videos starting this week up for the class. I will do a product review of what I'm using. I've started linking items in the group so that you can see all of the items that I use. My desire is that you have access to them. I'm never going to share something that you can't get, that you can't access. So there's links to items that I'm using, and then so that you can have them. And then all of the items that I am using in the mini album, I use in my everyday memory keeping efforts. So I will be sharing that. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will chat with you guys in the next video.